money remittances and payments is actually not a business of money movement. It's actually a business of compliance. And so we built TerraPay on the pillar of compliance, which meant is like, we went out and we got licenses and regulatory approvals in multiple markets to process cross-border transactions, be it P2P remittances, or what we talk about now is business-to-business transactions. So to the way I see this is on two fronts. Of course, what Nabil spoke about is on the technology front and the integrations and the value which large corporates and smaller corporates would need. But I think one of the key elements which we see why business payments are difficult as compared to P2P is because of compliance. And I can tell you, most of the times, the transactions, like the one which you try to cancel, could be reasoned because the receiver bank would have asked for things which typically, I don't know if you can provide, not provide. So there's a lot of paperwork, there's a lot of compliance which really comes into play, and that's where it becomes an opportunity as well to look at how business payments globally can be fine-tuned, and that's exactly what TerraPay is trying to do. Is on one side, we're trying to solve for the technology, bring in automation, bring in self-service, but I think the important part is to look at compliance and work with regulators to be able to deliver cross-border business-to-business transactions. They come in all flavors. They come in from a business-to-business, business-to-person, person-to-business, business-to-government, and there are multiple flavors on that space. And that's what we're focusing on. So today, if you look at it, we can process transactions in 92 countries. And it's only not because of technology, it is because a combination of technology and compliance, the regulatory approvals. So to me, those are the two key elements of how TerraPay would look at looking at the business payments.
What's your point of view on Nabil's insights on the complexity of the change, especially in those regard with the smaller companies dealing with larger companies? I am sure that in TerraPay you have solved those questions for some of your clients.
Yes, and I think to go back to the positioning itself, and when we started looking at business payments, one thing which we understood was because as we're going to go global, now at 92 countries, it's going to be very difficult to have a one solution which solves for everything. So that's, I think, something which we focus on. So our services and solutions are very regional, or I would call it domestic. What that means is if you look at Africa, you have mobile wallets, which is, I think, a big piece of everyone's ecosystem related to financial services. And how do you solve for it? And how do you get paid to a mobile wallet consumer who is a business? And there is a different ways of looking at it. You go to Asia and you have a different way of looking at of payments. So we have looked at the business payments was, of course, we don't really focus on the very large value payments, business payments. When I say it's like, we're not looking at the 10 million, 50 million kind of dollar transactions. We don't look at that. I think the banks are in a good space there, and I think those transactions may not be required to be delivered instantly. When I say instantly, within minutes, and we believe that. But what we focusing on is with our partners, since we are a B2B player, is to look at small value business payments which are instant, which need to be delivered across a plethora of payment mechanisms, which could be a bank account itself in most markets. It could be a business bank mobile wallet. It could be even issuance of a virtual card. It could be for gig economy. It could be for of business consumers wanting to pay payrolls. So we have services basis what the market demands are. So it could, as I said, is like bank accounts, wallets, virtual cards, IBAN issuance, all that which comes into a specific market. So our service in the UK would be very different than what our service in the EU would be, or our service in Russia would be, or our service in Kenya would be, or our service in Vietnam would be. But the fact is, compliance and the regulatory environment, along with what kind of payment instruments are available for business payments, predominantly decide how and what kind of service we operate. So it is, in a way, for us, a position of going local to offer a global service. That's how I see it.